What's going on, guys? Today, I just want to do a quick example of how you can use futures contracts, futures levels, supply and demand levels on the futures to guide your decisions on individual trades, whether that's trading Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, right? If you're looking at tech stocks, using the NASDAQ futures to guide your decisions. I think this is a very, very important thing to be watching as any trader. If you're not paying attention to your futures levels as you're trading, in my eyes, you're trading blind. Today, I have a great example of how I used a key supply level on the NASDAQ to guide my decisions on a really nice 30% Nvidia downside trade. After we go over that recap on Nvidia, the futures levels on the NASDAQ, I also have this trade and a few other trades recorded live so you can hear my thought process as I was trading with the group this morning. If you enjoy this video, press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So guys, here is the NASDAQ on the hourly chart, and there was some very important levels that I was watching this morning on the NASDAQ to guide my decisions for my individual trades on some stocks like Tesla, Nvidia, the big tech names that will track with the NASDAQ. So this morning, I was watching this 14,960 to 15,000 supply level. Now, the reason I had this supply on my chart is because previously on the NASDAQ, we had support, and we had support at this level. Now, coming into today's trading day, which is right here, this is today's trading day. I'll move this over. Right here is today's trading day. Coming into today's trading day, we were trading below that level, right? We were trading below the previous triple bottom on the NASDAQ futures. So I knew, right, if we are trading below a previous level, a previous demand, I'm going to go ahead and look to see if the NASDAQ pushes back to the upside, does it reject the previous lows, right? Do we turn that previous triple bottom low into a rejection? And if it does, I want to use that level as a place to go short, as a place to enter some potential shorts on stocks like Nvidia, Tesla, if they are lining up, using that NASDAQ level as my guide, right? Knowing that I'm entering these trades with the idea of the NASDAQ rejecting this very key level, and I'm going to remain in these trades as long as the NASDAQ is under that level, using that NASDAQ futures level as my guide in these trades, right? Sort of that if-then statement that I've talked about before. If the NASDAQ is below this triple bottom, then I want to look to short off that level, short off that supply. If the NASDAQ breaks above it, then I exit my positions. Now you can see later in the day, the NASDAQ did break this level, and this is where I did ultimately exit some other put positions that I was holding for some smaller losers, right? Because my thesis was no longer valid. But what you'll see here in the live trade today is I took a scalp on Nvidia early morning, took profits on that trade. There's a few others like Tesla as well that you'll see in the recording, that I was only looking for that scalp off the rejection of this previous triple bottom. And I want to go ahead and now zoom into this so you can really see in depth how this worked out. So here's the 5-minute chart on the NASDAQ futures, and we can see this is our zone, right? This is our supply zone. We have the previous lows, 14,960. We have the rejections here. We have the rejections here. Now, if I zoom in on this 5-minute chart, you are going to see this morning, and we just look at today's price action, obviously before the big upside move, you're going to see this morning, we pushed to the upside, right? About the first, let's say, half an hour of the market, we slowly pushed to the upside. Now, my idea, right, from the early morning session was, let's see if we can push into that 14,960. Let's see if we start to reject that previous low. And if we do, can I play that downside move? Now, we got that very nicely. And this is what trading's all about, right? We got it temporarily. Of course, we can't marry that position. But if we go to the 2-minute chart, we can zoom in now and we can see sort of how this rejected. So here's the 2-minute chart on the NASDAQ. We can see we pushed up into that supply. We had some very nice 2-minute wick rejections at that level, and we created this little uptrend that was ultimately broken right here around this 10:06 time, right? So during this time, what you'll see in the live trades, during this time, during this consolidation and this very clear rejection of the supply level I've mapped out, I didn't want to exit my positions, right? I'm using the NASDAQ here as my guide to remain in the positions. At this time, even if Nvidia, if Tesla were sort of creeping higher, I'm not going to panic out of this position. The reason being is because the NASDAQ is still rejecting supply. And I understand that if NASDAQ is rejecting supply, that will give me the idea that Nvidia, Tesla, AMD, whatever tech stocks you're trading will also move lower with the NASDAQ if that supply does reject. So I'm okay sort of sitting in some drawdown waiting to see the ultimate result here on the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ went ahead and broke above 15,000, I'm taking my loss on these puts, right? My plan did not work. But I'm not exiting positions. I'm not panicking out of positions when that supply is still rejecting, regardless of what the individual stock is doing, right? So if I go to Tesla, and this was a trade I took today as well, if we zoom in here on the 2-minute chart, right, we can see during this time, Tesla had a few little fake outs, right? A few green candles that if you're sort of on edge and you're not watching your futures, you might have got stopped out here. You might have got stopped out here, right? But the NASDAQ never broke over that supply, that 14,960. If we go into that today, right? If we go back into that supply, the NASDAQ never had a clean push above that level. So I never exited that Tesla put, right? I knew that I wanted to remain in that position because the NASDAQ was continuously rejecting, right? So this is sort of the idea of using those futures levels to guide your individual stock trades. And that's sort of what I did today pretty well and read this pretty well. Stayed in my put positions on NVIDIA, on Tesla, a few others as well that didn't work so great, which you will see. But NVIDIA and Tesla were two very nice winners, which led me to be green on the day, using that NASDAQ futures level as my guide. Really showing the importance of understanding your futures levels, mapping them out before every single market open, knowing where the supply is, knowing where the demand is, right? You can see today, once we broke supply on the NASDAQ above 15,000, look at sort of what happened here, right? After we broke supply at 15,000, that could have been your trigger to long this market, right? So you can see we got back above 15,000 right here. We got back above the 15,000 low here. Once we got above that level, intraday today, we held above it. That's your long entry, right? So the NASDAQ futures, the futures levels in general, really guiding your day and guiding your decisions on which way to look for individual stocks, right? So once the NASDAQ held above 15,000, let's go to NVIDIA at the 12 o'clock time. We go to 12 o'clock on NVIDIA. You can see right here, after we held that futures level on the NASDAQ, NVIDIA had a very nice rally to the upside. The futures levels guiding your decisions, those levels sort of giving you insight into which direction to be looking on this market. So I think the most valuable part of this video is going to be listening to me talking about this live, right? As the market was trading here near that 14,960, you were going to hear how I was thinking, sort of talking to the group, commentating the market during that time in the Discord voice chat. That will hopefully give you sort of that insight into my mindset as we approach supply like we did today. All right, I'm going to take a starter on Tesla puts at this 246, and then I will add again at 250. But I'm going to take a starter at 250, 246 here. So I took a Tesla 240 put right there. I'm going to take half size there, and then I will look to go again above 246 at 250. Damn. Okay. I might actually take some off here already. I got 2 contracts left on Tesla. All right, so NASDAQ's starting to get close to that supply level now. Watching this. Be careful longing here. You're longing right into supply. I'm going to enter again on Tesla shorts. I just added. Right at NASDAQ supply as well. Stop is over 246 on that. NASDAQ just tapped supply at 14,960. I'm going to take an NVIDIA put, 405 put, stop over 415. NVIDIA just popped into my 415 supply. I'm going to trust it. Perfect 14,960 rejection. Let's see if that sticks. I need to see the NASDAQ stay under 14,960 here. Very clear. That's the exact level I wanted to see reject, so I'm not going to stray away from what I was looking for. Sticking to my strategy. I was looking for a morning pop into 14,960. We did the exact thing, so I'm executing now. So I'm short Tesla, NVIDIA, Amazon. Just waiting to see if we get this eventual supply rejection on NASDAQ. Still sort of holding, but you can clearly see the struggle up there. I'm not stopping out of any of my trades until I see the NASDAQ get over 15,000 most likely and actually break this supply here. Okay, getting a little juicier now. All right, There's your juice. Well, there you go, folks. That's just trusting a supply level. All right. Let's see if we can get some continuation. Beauty. It's a beauty. All right. Gonna take one off NVIDIA up 30%. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, my job is done. That's the cleanest read of the market you could possibly get this morning. So guys, a quick video there, but I think an important one, right? A good refresher on using those futures levels to guide your trades. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, press that like button, subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you want to trade live with me every day, the link is down below in the description. If you want to get technical analysis, if you want to get these futures levels, they're in the morning live streams every morning. Completely free. Morning live streams, 8 a.m. We go over every single level here that I have on my screen to guide you, hopefully, for the intraday trading session. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here and supporting the channel. Press the like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.